Welcome, Leo Virgo, to your Astro Dice reading for June. I hope you friends are doing great out there. If you friends like this, please like and subscribe. Okay, guys, let's see what's going on with you. I have some Leo energy coming out with some Saturn in the 12th house. So going straight over here to Saturn, some hidden knowledge. The part of you that accepts challenge to gain the wisdom. Could be some hidden knowledge going on over here. A lot of times there is. Getting some kind of information that maybe you felt was hidden or waiting for, that's going to actually help with the challenge. Let's see what's going on. Leo. The energy is flamboyant, dramatic, proud, and passionate. It focuses on the importance of self-belief. I love that. Whatever this challenge is that you're accepting because you're going to gain some kind of wisdom, perhaps from it, is definitely going to help your self-belief within the situation. It is definitely going to fire up your passion and the passion to want to get down to the wisdom of this situation, feeling like there may be something hidden from you. And we're talking about the 12th house, right? We have 12 houses, so this is definitely the 12th house. And how crazy is that? This is the area of your life that is overwhelming you. You yield to the greater cause or power. So it's definitely something, right, accepts the challenge, overwhelming you. So whatever it is that's overwhelming you, my friends, you're definitely going to try to get down to the situation. Hopefully, some kind of information will come out this month that will help you. We will find that out right now. So going straight into the beginning of the month, middle of the month, and the end of the month. Try on. The beginning of the month, please. Changing your focus. 5 of Cups. Whatever is going on over here, it's like you are definitely trying to see it from a bigger perspective. You're trying to change your focus on this area. And this is where you want to accept the challenge. I see it. You can definitely see it. You're like, I'm in this challenge mode. This is overwhelming me. I'm trying to step outside of the box to see. So you figure the 5 of Cups, in the regular card, you would see this man, right? And he's looking down at the 3 of Cups that are spilled milk. And behind him has the 2, right? The 2 of Cups behind him. And it really does feel, guys, like you are definitely trying to look behind you to focus on those 2 of Cups instead of just focusing all of your energy on the 3 Cups that are spilled over. Right? Because you know this is where the light is. You know this is where the happiness is. This is where you know if you could completely change the focus to get to the wisdom, right? The wisdom of the 2 Cups behind you. You know this is where the happiness will be. You'll be able to grab that light. And it feels like that's where you are at the beginning of the month. So it's talking about confronting the situation. Yeah, confronting those 3 of Cups. Confronting yourself to say, you know what, I really need to turn around. I really need to focus on those 2 of Cups behind me. Because I know that once I do that, what's overwhelming me will definitely, go away. So how am I going to get there? But first I have to confront the 3 of Cups that's in front of me. Clarify. But, yeah. The 3 of Cups is definitely the 6 of Cups, right? This is because those are where your childhood memories are, right? This is where you put in a lot of time, a lot of energy, right? So it could be bringing in a lot of nostalgia. I can't take my eyes off the 3 of Cups because I have done so much work that I'm still having a hard time letting go of those memories, of those happy times, of where I put all my time, all my energy, right? This is what I wanted, those dreams. that are now spilt milk. You know you need to look back at those 2 cups. And like I said, you're still twisting back there. I can feel you twisting back, saying, but I know there's something better. And I know that there's something there, but I'm having a hard time because this really meant a lot to me. So trying to change your focus away from the past. What went wrong? Getting to the light and the happiness over here in the sun, really reaching out for what's better, what's new, focusing your attention on building new ideas, new plans. Sometimes it's hard when we put so much energy into something and it just falls apart, right? But this is actually going to cause you more happiness, more celebration, and you will actually finish, the race. You will gain the wisdom that you need. This will also boost your energy with the Leo over here. And the sun is a Leo card, right? So this is definitely going to be the place where you need to be. You might even find people out in the community. You might need to get back into the community to find new people, new places, new things, right? But confronting is building something new, collaborating with yourself to figure it out, like your own teamwork. Like I said, in the community, you might even need to get out to the community to build up teamwork, collaborate with someone, to rebuild. So it could be 2 in 1. So this month, it does feel like at the beginning of the month, you will be having some conversations. There will be things that are going on, but you also need to have that conversation within yourself to say, you know what, I just cannot sit over here and worry about all of this spilt milk because I'm wasting time worrying about what happened. But yet, in some ways, though, it's kind of crazy. In some ways, though, you have to. Why? So that you can confront yourself on the situation so you can build stronger. You see what went wrong. When we see and we learn, we grow from it. And when we grow from it, we grow stronger from it. It's all about growing stronger. I built something that may have been a little weak. It didn't have the foundations. I messed something up. Maybe I was too impulsive. Something of this nature, whatever went on, my friends, but you will definitely succeed through that by giving yourself the time, right, to gain the wisdom needed. And like I said, some of your wisdom may even be out in the community. It may be with other people, right? Confronting this situation, confronting them, confronting yourself, right? You don't want to get too hasty, right? You want to be able to do it the right way. Sacrifice, needing some kind of self-sacrifice. You might need now to go into hangman mode to get to that rainbow. Needing to sacrifice something. You might know, I might have to sacrifice this to get to this now. I might have to sacrifice more time and more energy to rebuild. But it does feel like there will be some sacrifice. Choosing wisely in the mid-month. Yes, definitely going to be choosing wisely because you don't want to make the same mistake twice. You want to come out with the right ideas. You do not want to be overwhelmed again, right? And even if it's still overwhelming you, you have to make the right choices to overcome what's overwhelming you, right? But this is, oh, I love that. This is going to bring in the Ace of Cups. This is going to bring in where you start loving again. This is going to bring back that loving feeling with the Ace of Cups. It's going to actually make you feel like you're fulfilled. You're fulfilling the cup again. You're not just completely drained. You are now actually filling it back up with the things that you want. Hey, I need to build this better. I need to do this. I need to figure out what it is that I need to do. And that starts putting in fresh water as you're empty, as you just emptied out a bunch of mucky water, right? Or it just fell over, as we see with the Five of Cups. It just toppled over. But at least now, you're now looking behind you, 100, not just twisting back and forth, looking at those Two of Cups. You literally turn around, see those Two of Cups, and start filling them full of water, right? And this is where the love begins, because now you can passionately start rebuilding, doing the things you want to do. You learned from whatever it was, and you have learned. You have learned. So with the self-sacrifice, it's giving. Yes, giving back to yourself, realizing that, you know what, mistakes happen, but I have to balance out the situation. Just because the Three of Cups are upside down and everything went awry does not mean that I don't start rebuilding again. If anything, this is the chance for me, like I said earlier, to build back stronger. So this is where you're going to be sharing the wealth, feeling more generous within yourself. I think this has a lot to do with self, giving back yourself. Not, when we give back ourself, it means I'm not going to worry about the spilt milk because it's not going to do me any good anymore. I need to balance myself, give back to myself, and be more generous to myself. As I self-sacrifice certain areas and I'm in hangman mode, I'm starting to realize certain situations and how I can actually get out of these situations as much as possible, choosing wisely. Now, you could be a little bitter about the situation. You could even be bitter towards someone. Maybe they did this, right? Maybe someone is actually cold and ignoring you, right? Maybe you felt like you were easily influenced into something and it caught you off guard. But now you can say, you know what? I'm choosing wisely not to be over emotional about the situation. I'm choosing wisely to not worry about the bitterness that I have within myself. If they want to be, if you're dealing with someone else and they want to be bitchy and cold, it just feels like you're saying, do what you must. Do what you must. Because I can't allow this to do this anymore. I have to be generous to myself and let that go. Where the love begins the Ten of Cups. Wow. So you have the rainbow from the self-sacrifice to the light over here, bringing in the Ten of Cups. This is where you feel like you're aligned with what it is you need. Starting to rebuild the dreams that you want. And feeling like you're supporting yourself on the situation. Hey, you know what? So it went sour. But that does not mean that I cannot rebuild. This does not mean that I cannot have new things. This is starting a new opportunity with the Ace of Cups so that you can have a better blissful relationship within yourself, within the community, with whatever it is. Right? If you know that if this is a love relationship and you know that that's done and over with because they're not going to come back around to you, at least you can find your inner happiness. Right? Not worrying about what they're doing. Because obviously, guys, if this is a love relationship, you know they're not coming back around to fix this. So you're just going to have to find your own inner happiness for yourself. Because this is really about self-contentment because of the overwhelming, situation. So you're actually going to align yourself to yourself. Say, I can't just worry about what, they're doing. It's not working. They're still being cold. They're still doing what they're doing, so I'm going to have to go do what I need to do. Right? This is about staying generous to yourself at this time, because it's the only thing that's going to help at this moment. Taking the lead. Yes, getting yourself into Emperor mode over here. You hold the scroll. You have the new plans. Taking the lead. The Emperor has the plans. Those plans are his plans. He knows where he's going, and this is where you're disciplined and taking back and being very focused on what it is you want. Which is kind of crazy because if you look at this guy over here, he has this kind of map, this scroll over here, and he's looking. It's what the part of you that accepts the challenge to gain the wisdom. The wisdom is within himself, but he's also holding a scroll or a map, a treasure map, right? And you're saying over here, I am this person. I have now the map. I now have the blueprints to where I'm going to stay healthy and happy, and I know where I'm going. And it's boosting you up to keep yourself, conquering the situation. It keeps you in control of your emotions and the places you need to be. It's not going to allow you to overwhelm yourself anymore because at the end of the month, you're going to realize how much more stable you are in so many ways, right? Finding the clues, finding the answers, understanding where I'm going to rebuild, how I'm going to get all these things back together as much as possible, finding the celebration within myself, the happiness, my joy. You could be going out with friends. You could be talking to colleagues. You could be putting together new projects that you know will be more successful, stronger. You know, if we do it this way, we can actually have this project come together and it won't just fall. So there is a lot of happiness and a lot of celebration coming in that area, and a lot of gatherings that just look like gatherings. Learning together, learning to collaborate, building something up that's joyful and happy and also balanced in its own way. It's also coming together with the Three of Cups, which is the powerful three within yourself, with the mind, body, and soul. And that's saying that you are happy and have that inner happiness and fulfillment within yourself as you feel like you are back in control. Win or lose with the Five of Swords. So it does feel like somebody may be trying to hold back on the situation, not 100% seeing it your way. But it's okay, because you're going to say, that's okay. You know what? I'm still going to go strong. Even if you're not seeing it my way, it's okay. So somebody may still feel like, you know, they're in protective mode. They still may feel like, you know what, you're trying to get away with something. Yeah, because then the Five of Swords is the Seven of Swords. Thank you, Spirit. There could still be a little deception or trying to get away with something. Somebody might still be adding too much strategy to something. They may be trying to weaken you down from your own strategy, trying to change your mind, which would be like mind trickery, which means that, you know, I just figured out how to do everything, and now you're trying to, almost feels like in some ways, for some of you, it could be self-sabotage because of their sabotage. So it feels like if they're tricking you, trying to make you believe something that's off of what you just put together as blueprints, you could feel like they're sabotaging me, trying to get in my mind for my own self-sabotage. I wouldn't listen because it's saying that they're trying to get away with something. They're trying to maybe cut corners. And maybe that's how it all fell the first time, cutting corners. Right? So it does feel like in challenge mode, trying to overwhelm, here comes a new challenge. They're trying to challenge you. And it just feels like you're like, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I just got over this. I just figured this all out. They're trying to maintain control. But it's also you trying to maintain control as well, because you're going to be standing your ground against the situation, saying, no, we're not going to do this again. See, because I got smart over here and I understand the situation. We're not going to do the same thing again and try to figure, and then expect a different outcome. This is not going to happen. So you're definitely going to be in your own challenge mode, which is not going to be overwhelming you. And well, in some ways it could though, huh? Depends on who the person is. They could definitely be kind of overwhelming you still. Because if it's a loved one who wants to fight with you and do these things when you felt like you just came back together to try to fix things, that could definitely overwhelm you again, saying, why are we doing this again? But if it's a workplace or something of this nature, you're definitely going to want to persevere and really stand in your ground against this person, because it just feels like, they're trying to topple things over again, and they want you to listen, and you're saying, I'm not going to listen right now. I know where we're going, and I know how it's supposed to work. So with the take the lead over here, it's definitely, you're on a creative boost. Let's put it that way, because that's really what it feels like, especially with the Leo. Leo's very creative. So it does feel like your creativity is like boosting over here. And because you've got these creative ideas, you're holding this scroll, you have the blueprint, you're a dreamer, you got it down. You know what your cup is full of now, right? So with the celebration and the joy, just loving this, you have the Queen of Cups. Wow. Knowing your emotional, stability, knowing where you're standing, knowing where you need to be. No one's going to take you down on this one, right? Like, and if you and your love, you could feel like, we're out celebrating, everything's doing good, right? Even though in the mid-month, they didn't really want to come back a whole lot, but I'm still finding that inner happiness. The end of the month, it feels like they might come back, try to apologize, try to get back the compassion and do everything and bring this spark back to life within a love connection, but then all of a sudden they want to kind of ruin that. Why? Why would you want to ruin it? We just got back together. Why do you want to do this again? Why are you playing the same game? As soon as we have a breakthrough, we have new, exciting discussions, no matter who you're dealing with over here. Why would you want to do that? It's like we're bringing in the blessings, we're doing everything, right? And then all of a sudden you want to, at the very end of the month, play head games. Try to trick me, try to be strategical about situations, trying to get your way, putting me back into this mode of where I have to stand my ground, wanting me to confront you. Why do you want me to confront you? Because this time you're not going to be confronting yourself, my friends. You're going to actually be confronting them. Because you've already confronted yourself. You already said this is what was going on. This is how it's going to be. And then I will go and try to do what I need to do and confront you. But this time you're saying, I don't need to go inside. I already did that with the hangman. I already did that with the confrontation over here, the confronting the situation. I already did all of this. I'm not doing it again. There's no reason to, and I agree. There's no reason. You want them to build healthy habits. You are building healthy habits. I mean, look, you went from watching 3 of Cups upside down to turning around for healthy habits to look at the 2 of Cups and said, you know what, we will bring this into a fantastic new beginning. And now somebody wants to square off with you. And if it's a love situation, it does feel like it could be this lover where you guys feel like you have just reconnected and they want to bring something up again. It's almost like it almost feels like they're scheduling conflicts for you. Oh, on the 18th, I think I'll have a conflict. Oh, I think on the 28th, we'll have a conflict. It could actually feel that way. Like, are you scheduling conflicts and miscommunications with me to arise? I mean, what are they written on the calendar? Because it feels like as soon as I start feeling good about the situation, you want to cause havoc again, right? So it almost feels very impulsive. It almost feels premeditated. I'm sorry, it does. And sometimes, it feels a little premeditated. Like, yeah, well, on the 18th, she decided, well, I think this day I'll be a real asshole. Yeah, I think the 28th I'll be a real asshole too, but I think on the 18th when I'm an asshole, we'll do good on the 21st, and we'll come back together, and then I'll be an asshole on the 28th. Hey, by the 30th, I'm going to be all awesome again. And then we can start it all over again. What? Be careful of that, guys, okay, because that actually feels like I know that's not what they're really doing, but if you see it from the point of view, it does kind of feel that way if you really kind of look at it. We know it's not, okay? If it is, that would be insane. But it does kind of feel that way from a reader's point of view. It's almost like, wow, you're just like kind of just, you know what? I'm going to spark these up. I think I'll write it on the calendar when I decide to be cold-hearted. Wow. But of course, we know that that's not true. It's just the way it looks. Okay. Okay, my friends. Until next time. Peace and love. Bye-bye.